Hello everyone. My name is Aditya Ratsi Gohil, and today I will present Dryden's Epsilon and Agathophel versus Pope's The Rep of the Lock. So, here is my academic details and the presentation details and the table of content. Here is my research question that how do John Dryden's Epsilon and Agathophel and the Alexander Pope's The Rep of the Lock reflect the different forms and functions of Augustine's satire, one as a political critic and other as a social commentary. Hypothesis. Dryden uses satire mainly as a political tool to defend the king and to criticize corruption and rebellion. Pope, on the other hand, uses satire as a social commentary to gently mock the pride, vanity, and the foolish behavior of the upper class. Together, they show how satire is in the Augustan age. So, Dryden's Epsilon and Agathophel versus Pope's The Rep of the Lock, the two great English satirical poems. Dryden turned a political problem into a story based on the Bible, and the Pope's turned a small social quarrel into a funny and grand story. Both poets use humor, irony, and rhyming couplets to show the truth and the fault of their society. Their goals are different, like Dryden criticizes politics and leaders. Pope comment on the society and human behavior. Introduction. During the Restoration and early 18th century, satire becomes very popular in the English literature. After many political changes and social troubles, writer uses satire to show people's fault, hypocrisy, and foolishness. John Dryden and Alexander Pope were great master of satire. Both poets wrote in heroic couplet, two-line rhyming verse. Here is the example of their poems from their poems. Dryden wrote in the stormy and political in 1680s, while Pope wrote in the calm and refined age of the Augustan England. Here is the context and the purpose. Dryden's Epsilon and Agathophel was written during the exclusion crisis in England. The poem uses biblical names to represent the real political figures of that time. Dryden wrote it to support the king and criticize those who tries to rebel against him. Pope's The Rep of the Lock was inspired by the real story and incident. Lord Peter cut the lock of hair from Arabella Fermon, which caused a big argument between two families. Pope turned this event into a funny and elegant poem to bring peace and make people laugh. Dryden's goal is to influence politics and defend monarchy. Pope's goal is to heal social conflict through humor and charm. The nature of satire in both poems. Dryden's satire is serious and moral in tone. He uses biblical stories and grand language to criticize pride and ambition. His goal is to teach moral lessons and restore social and political order. Pope's satire is light, playful, and full of irony. He turns a small event into the mock epic and a grand story about a silly subject. Both poets shows that satire can teach through cleverness and bring change through laughter. Literary forms and technique. Both Dryden and Pope write in heroic couplets, two-line rhyming verse, as we seen before. Dryden uses the form to sound serious and playful, giving his words moral strength and authority. His couplets feel strong and persuasive, like a leader's speech. Pope uses the same form in a lighter and more playful way. He adds wit, irony, exaggeration to create a mock heroic effect. The same poetic style creates two different moods. Dryden's thunder with seriousness and Pope sparkles with humor and charm. Targets and audiences. Dryden attacked political hypocrisy and division in society. His readers were politically aware people living through the Restoration's unstable time. His goal was to improve public morals and support political order. Pope criticized the fake manner and vanity of higher society. His readers were educated city people, often found in London's coffee houses. His aim was to polish social behavior and teach good taste through the humor. Thematical contrast. Dryden's main theme is obedience and the political stability. He shows rebellion as a sin and a loyalty the king as a virtue. Pope's mainly theme is human vanity and foolish pride. He replaces epic heroic with fashionable ladies and real battle with card games. Both poets shows different kind of imbalance in society. Dryden exposes political disorder, and Pope exposes social and moral shallowness. Tone and voice. Dryden's tone is serious, grand, and powerful. His satire sounds like a moral sermon in poetry, teaching right and wrong. He speaks with the authority of a leader of statesmen. Pope's tone is light, amused, and witty. He laughs gently at people's mistake instead of judging them harshly. He speaks like a social observer or artist watching society with a smile. Imagery and symbolism. Dryden uses biblical and royal imagery. His images shows that divine order, God's rule and political order, the king's rule, are connected. This makes his poem feel serious and moral, like a lesson about loyalty and duty. Pope uses rich, decorative, and everyday imagery. He turns toilet tables into the temples and combs into the weapons, mixing beauty with humor. Purpose and effect. Dryden's poem took part directly in political debates of his time, supported the king's authority and criticized rebellions and disloyalty. Pope's poem aimed to entertain readers, but also to teach them self-awareness and good manners. While Dryden's satire is political and powerful, Pope's is social and graceful. Both poets shows the satire can teach lessons while still making people laugh and enjoy. Comparative reflection. Dryden and Pope shows two different sides of Augustan satire. Dryden's satire is public and political. It tries to pursue people and defend order. Pope's satire is private and social. It tries to refine the manner and improve behavior. Both poets believe, as a neoclassical writers, that literature should bring balance and order. Their satires expose human faults to teach, correct, and entertain. My conclusion: John Dryden's Absalom and Agathocles and Alexander Pope's The Rape of the Lock clearly shows two different forms and purposes of Augustan satire. Dryden's poem serves as a political critic, using the biblical allegory and moral seriousness to defend the king and attack political rebellion and hypocrisy. His satire is direct, persuasive, and grounded in public duty. On the other hand, Pope's poem is, in contrast, work as a social commentary, turning a small social conflict into a witty mock epic that gently exposes the vanity and the superficial value of political society. Thank you. Here is my references. Any question, please?
Hello Aditya. My question is what is the difference between Dryden's and Pope satires?
Thank you, Jaipal. Dryden's poem was written during the exclusive crisis in England, a period of political instability. On the other hand, Pope's poem was inspired by the real social incident where Lord Peter cut a lock of hair from Arabella Feldman, causing a quarrel between their families. Any other question?
So my question is, explain the concept of mock epic and it applies to Pope's The Rape of Law.
Thank you. A mock epic is a literary form that turns a small silly subject into a grand story. Pope employs this in The Rape of the Lock by treating a trivial social quarrel, the cutting of a lock of a hair, with the grand language and structure of an epic poem, creating a humorous and ironic effect. Thank you.